Hey guys, JW Betts on staff with Cru. I want to talk to you a little bit more about gospel-driven hospitality, or as we like to call it, Gospitality. Now, when you were a kid, you probably remember your mom telling you something like, watch out for strangers, and what she really meant was for you to watch out for all the sketchy weirdos in the world. But a stranger was somebody who's unfamiliar. They're not a part of your family. They could have been someone who you did not recognize. They definitely were not a close friend. A stranger is somebody who you don't know. Now, it might have been someone who's very different from you. It might have been someone who didn't care about you at all, or it could have been someone who wanted to harm you. So there's good reason why we give our kids advice to be careful and to be alert. But the Bible also has an exhortation to watch out for strangers, and what it's talking about is definitely not staying away from them. It's the word hospitality, and the word hospitality means to love strangers. It's actually more active than that. It means to pursue, to love strangers. Now, the world might say stranger danger, but the gospel call is more like be a stranger engager, or a stranger arranger, or I don't know, stranger life changer. Seriously, I'm dying here. But the Bible, when it was talking, especially in the Old Testament, about a stranger, it was talking about a foreigner, somebody who was not an Israelite. They were someone who was different and disconnected from God's covenant community. Now, in Romans chapter 12, the Apostle Paul is machine gunning this gospel-driven set of application points that flows out of a life that is God-centered and worship-fueled. And in verse 13, he says very plainly, practice hospitality. And what he means by that is that we would pursue, that we would actively go after loving strangers, that we'd be loving those who are different, loving those who are disconnected from the community of God. Now, when we say Christian hospitality, what we're talking about is expending ourselves, expending our energy and our resources so that we can accommodate and love and serve and bless and provide for others. We talk about cultivating space, both physical space maybe, but emotional and social space where people can thrive and take hold of the truly abundant life. And again, we're doing all of this with people who are very different from us. Now, our basic go-to when we think of hospitality is to invite our friends or our extended family, or maybe both of them, to come over to our house for a little bit of hangout. By and large, we spend most of our time hosting people that we already know really well, the people in our family, the people from our church. Very often, the people that we spend time inviting into our house and into our life are people who are in the exact same life stage as us. They might be from the same country, or at least the same ethnicity as we are. They often have the same exact political persuasion. They're probably in the same socioeconomic category. We like the same music. We check out the same websites. And by and large, we have the same spiritual beliefs. Nobody is a stranger. And to have parties like that can definitely be a good time. But if there aren't any strangers, if there aren't any people who are distant and different and disconnected from the community of God, getting blessed by the love of Jesus, then it's really not Christian gospel-driven hospitality. In Romans 15:7, Paul says, welcome one another as Christ has welcomed you for the glory of God. And in that verse, he reminds us that Jesus is the original, true lover of those who are different and disconnected. And we understand that God is glorified when we go forward like Jesus, expending ourselves to love those who are distant and different.
Yo, so I was thinking about what you said, and I thought of stranger in a manger.
There it is. Thank God for the stranger in a manger. He embraced the danger. Now he's moving out towards those who need a little bit of
Flavor.
They need us to engage her.
Because they're not sagers.
They need to know the Savior. Oh.